Hi everyone, today I'm going to work with you to complete division and equal groups in your workbook. Remember, your workbook looks like this: Introduction to Multiplication and Division. This picture might be different, but it should look like this overall. The page we're working on today, Division and Equal Groups input page. If you don't have it in front of you right now, pause the video and go get it. So, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. You just learned multiplication and now you're expected to learn division. The reason that we're introducing them at the same time is that multiplication and division go together like peanut butter and jelly, or like addition and subtraction. So it's helpful to learn them together, to know that you can use multiplication to find the answer to a division problem, or you could use division to find the answer to a multiplication problem. First, we have to learn how it works. So let's start by looking at the sentences at the top of the page. Division is repeated blank. So we talked about before that multiplication is repeated addition. Do you have a guess at what division is repeated? If you said subtraction, you are right. So I'm going to write subtraction here. Division is repeated subtraction. So we start with our big number and then we take little pieces away until we get to 0. Let's look at our second sentence. You can show division by drawing blank groups. Well, we can show multiplication by drawing equal groups. Is that true of division? Yep, in division, the groups have to be equal too. You have to be working with the same number every time. So I'm going to write in equal. You can show division by drawing equal groups. Down below, we have the picture of the 3 circles with the 4 apples in each circle. It's the same picture we looked at when we were working with multiplication. I used the same picture on purpose because I really want you to understand that multiplication and division are 2 ways of looking at the same thing. So now we can answer the questions about division. Notice that I have 3 subtraction problems under each of the circles. This is because division is repeated subtraction. So we start with our total. We have 12 apples total. If you don't believe me, you can count them. Our first circle has 4 apples. So it's like we're taking those and setting them aside. If we have 12 apples and we set aside 4, we're left with 8. So 12 minus 4 equals 8. Now we have 8 apples left, which is shown in our second equation. We have the second group, we take away those 4, and we're left with just one group with 4 in them. If we take away that group, we have 0. So your answers should be 8, 4, 0. Now let's look at the part in the box. Blank apples divided into blank groups. How many apples did we start with? 12. Good. And how many equal groups did we put them into? 3. Nice job. Then we have down below that blank apples in each group. How many apples are in each group? If you're not sure, you can count one group, or you can remember that there are 4. So 4 apples in each group. Down below here, we have some division equations, which I know can look scary. But don't worry, you already know everything you need to know to solve this division problem. The first number is always going to be your total. How many altogether you have. In this case, how many apples altogether you have. If you remember that's 12, that's awesome. If you don't remember, you can count them or look at some of the other work we've done. So my first number is going to be 12. Now I have my divided sign. Here's where you get to make some choices. Remember in multiplication where I said it's very important that the first number is the number of groups and the second number is the number in each group? I should say factors, that would be better. The first factor is the number of groups you have. The second factor is the number in each group, the number of apples in each group, the number of bananas in each group. Division doesn't work like that. Unless it's a story problem and someone is telling us this is the number of groups or this is the number in each group, we don't know. So you get to pick which number you put next. You can either put the number of groups, that would be 3, or the number of apples in each group, that would be 4. I'm going to put 3 first because 3 comes before 4. You can do what you want. So I'm going to write 12 divided by 3. So if I take 12 and I put it in 3 groups, there will be 4 apples in each group. So my answer is 4. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Let's write the second one. I always start with my total, which is 12. Now last time I said divided by 3. I can't write the same exact thing again. That wouldn't make any sense. So I have to pick the other number. 12 divided by 4. So I have 12 apples. I want to put them in groups of 4. So I say I want to give 4 apples to my mom, 4 apples to my dad, 4 apples to my brother. So they're in groups of 4. How many groups will I have? Well, look at the picture, look at your work from before, and you will see it's 3. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Notice that in the equations, the last 2 numbers just switch places. It's a fact family, just like when you subtract or add or multiply. The numbers switch places, except in division, your first number always stays the same, just like subtraction. Your biggest number, your total, comes first. Let's look at the next part. There are 2 ways to solve a division problem. Number 1, draw the total number of dots and put them in equal. What word goes along with equal for multiplication and division? Groups. You're right. So groups. So you can draw all your dots. You can make dot, 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 dot everywhere for as many as you need. And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to put 3 here, 3 here, and put them in equal groups. The second way to solve a division problem, number 2, draw the total number of blank and put all of the dots in groups. So let's deal with this sentence first, and then let's talk about what it's saying. Draw the total number of groups. I know some of you were going to say dots. I admit I was going to say it for a minute too, but it's groups. So if I had 12 divided by 3, I would draw my 3 groups. I really should have a whiteboard for that. And then I would put dots in until I got all of the dots taken care of. So I'd have my 3 groups, and then I'd drop a dot. 1, 2, 3 in each group. Then I'd keep going. 4, 5, 6. Keep going. 7, 8, 9. Keep going. 10, 11, 12. Stop. I got to 12, which is what I wanted. Then I could count how many dots were in each group. So you can either draw your dots first and then put circles around them. That's best if you know how many are in each group. So if I was going to do, for this example, 12 divided by 4, I would know I needed 4 apples in each group. I'd draw my 12 dots, 12 apples, and I'd say, okay, well, here's 4, that's one group. Here's 4, that's one group. Here's 4, that's one group. And I could count, oh, I have 3 groups. If I knew how many were in each group, then if I knew how many groups I had, I would draw the groups and then place the dots in the groups until I got to my total. I hope that made sense. I will make another video when I do this with a whiteboard because it's not hard if you can see it. Okay, we have our last thing down here. Draw a picture to solve. Perfect. This gives us a chance to try out one or both of the ways to solve it. I'm going to do both. I'm going to cut my box in half like this, and I'm going to solve it one way in each box. I recommend doing this if you're feeling a little confused. So 15 divided by 5. I don't know if that 5 is the number in each group or the number of groups. So for this one, I'm going to say it's the number of groups. So I'm going to make 5 circles. So that means I have 5 groups. And I need to put 15 dots total in the circles, not 15 dots in each circle. That happens a lot. So 15 dots total spread among these 5 circles. Imagine it like candies that you have to give to your friends. If you have 15 candies total, you can't give 15 candies to each friend. You'd run out of candy after your first friend. So I'm going to put 1 dot in each box and count it. Or a line, tick mark. That's probably easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not to 15, so I keep going. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not to 15, so I keep going. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I got to 15, so I can stop. How many tick marks or circles do you have in each group? I hope it's 3, because that's what I have. Okay, now let's say that it's not 5 groups, it's 5 in each group. So this time I have to draw my 15 dots first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, does yours look a little something like this? Now I can circle 5 dots at a time. So here's 5, and here's 5, and here's 5. I don't know why I was expecting more. Does yours look like this? Probably not, but something similar. So there are 2 ways you can solve division problems. No matter how big a division problem is, you can solve them these 2 ways. It would just take a long time. All right, so you're ready to work on your output page now. Oh, I tried to hold it. Thanks so much for watching today. I'll see you next time.